So today we're going to do a little time travel. We're going to go into the future. When this now 6-month-old dog is 3 years old, I want him to be able to come to complex environments. I'm in a community room where they do speaker series. So we're going to practice the Get Settled game that he started at his home on his bed on the go. So if you think about taking any sort of stationing game, which is where we just bring a target and a place for them to get settled on the road, this is conditioning. I'm gonna do this through the course of his life so he knows if I sit down at a bench, go to a cafe, brewery, whatever, I want him to come and just get settled on his bed. It's a really passive form of training where I'm literally just giving him food for laying on a bed, but I'm doing it now, I'm generalizing this behavior to lots of different places, okay? We're also working on that release cue. So our 6-month-old dog is first gonna learn, yes, stepping on the bed in these environments, okay? And then we're gonna scaffold what we want that to look like overall. Yes. He'll offer a progression if I just stand here. Yes. If I just wait a little bit longer, I'm gonna see if that old DOWN comes out. Yes, this is the hardest thing to teach people. It's called, ready? Patience. So I've already taught him this. You could say from a dog training standpoint, I could be doing more, I could be scaffolding it more, but now we're in this generalization process and I want him to have space to think. So if you consider yourself a pet parent, call it the parental pause. If you're a guardian, well, be a little more patient and you will get a thinking dog. So I know I can say, Norman, down, Norman, on your bed. All these cues or commands people talk about. But if you want to create a thinking dog who can solve problems, teach him that when you guess these really desirable or right behaviors, that they pay off. Okay? Good. So the full behavior is going to look something like this. Good. Good boy. Yes, good boy, Norman. So sometimes people move too soon. You see me just go very still when I'm waiting for Norman to offer behaviors. And now, all I want him to do is settle. So the settle part of the behavior, you can either sit on the ground, get a handful of treats, and just start lowering them down. Close your hand when they get pushy. And then just start treating them when they sit back. So I don't know if you saw his weight shift backwards. So he's reaching for the treats. Close my hand, he sits back, open my hand, yes. And then just calmly feed the dog. So I think of this as conditioning for any sort of getting settled behavior away from home. He's never been in this room before. So he's doing really, really good. This is a 6-month-old dog. So I have a dog who's getting settled on the mat, yes. He's not getting really pushy. He's flipped his hip, so he's on his left hip. So he's really starting to settle in. And what I'm gonna do, and I won't make you watch the whole thing, I'm gonna sit here for about 10 minutes, just slowly feeding him. And then eventually I'm gonna ask for distractions, people to walk through, and if he breaks, oops, we just get resettled. And this is where doing it in real life at a cafe really helps. The other big thing is letting them know when they're done so they're not guessing. Okay, good job. I love rewarding dogs for waiting for that release cue so that they're like, oh, I just wait until he tells me that, right? Good, good. Here's that P word. Yes, good patience from me, good behaviors from Norman. Then I can pretend like I'm gonna sit and watch the speaker who's just above the camera. So these are the kinds of things I want him to be able to do when he's 3. He's 6-months-old now. So think about building routines, making them normal things you do, and then working on getting settled and being bored. We should be teaching our dogs how to be alone, how to be bored, and how to not always be demanding to do things. I see this a lot with dogs who are really smart. They're really good at training. They like operant behaviors, not so good at getting settled. So this is something we should be practicing on the weekly with our dogs, especially if we have big hopes and dreams and aspirations for them in the working world or just through companionship. I like my dogs to fit my lifestyle, be able to go anywhere. So this is a really good security blanket, if you will, to bring with me and teach them wherever we go, as long as the blanket comes down, you just get settled on that blanket. Good things happen. All right? Work on it often. Norman and I are gonna go play and then do this for about 10 boring minutes. Okay.